If you've been around Night Kingdoms long enough, you've probably seen some kind of discussion about unicorns of all things. Some of you may know what the significance of the unicorn is and what it leads to, but you definitely don't know what happens after that. Let's talk about it. If you didn't know already, there's an Easter egg on the website. Following the path of the Easter egg will give you a small set of rewards for completing it. As the game server is closing, so is the Easter egg, so it's time to reveal exactly what it did. Because we needed a way to start the path of the Easter egg, we needed a way to limit how many people could access it, and we needed a way to let the player not miss it. Initially, we thought we could do something subtle like hide it in the page code, but if no one was aware that they even needed to look for it, or that it was even a possibility, we probably shouldn't hide it. So the next best thing would be to make it random but obvious. We settled on the little unicorn. This unicorn image would be overlaid on the heat map of the website. We chose 3 numbers, and when a player logged into the website, it would randomly choose a number between 1 and 1,000. If the number rolled matched one of those 3, we'd show the unicorn somewhere on the heat map. At first, this seemed like a great idea. However, it apparently wasn't as obvious as we thought. We added notifications to the staff alert channels as any player progressed through the Easter egg, so it was pretty easy to tell when a player was shown the unicorn and whether they clicked on it to progress to the next stage. And no one did. Okay, so we thought maybe kind of nudge players to look for the unicorn on the map. So we added another 5 numbers that was rolled after the unicorn check, and if the unicorn wasn't going to show, they had a chance to get a hint. We ended up adding a Matrix-style wake-up Neo effect that said, "Pet the unicorn." The screen would be set up with a slight random delay, then black out the screen, show the text in bright green, glitch out a little, and then cut back to the normal screen. This is when people started talking about the unicorn. For reasons that will make more sense later, we decided to deny the existence of the unicorn entirely. So anyone that actually saw the hint, which we also got notifications of, we would totally deny that anything of the sort could even happen on the website. Conspiracy theories ensued. Now we had people talking about unicorns, looking for validation from other players that they even existed. Nobody saying anything because either they never saw it or didn't want to look crazy. Meanwhile, the entire staff was actively denying everything and laughing hysterically the entire time. There was only one problem. Even though we saw that several players were shown the unicorn, either they weren't paying attention or it wasn't obvious enough. So we supersized the unicorn to 3 times as big, colored the border of the heat map in rainbow colors to call attention to it, and even played a horse sound. Finally, people started seeing it properly. We got past the initial hook, but we had to have a way to slow the players from just blowing through the Easter egg and getting a reward just for clicking on a unicorn. A challenge, if you will. Back in the 1950s, a man named Alan Turing unknowingly created a benchmark for testing artificial intelligence, now known as the Turing test. His idea was that if you put a person in front of a computer and they ask questions to 2 unseen people, if one day those people the person was talking to was actually a computer, and the person asking questions can't distinguish which one is an actual person. In the 1960s, many people tried to make programs that would attempt to do just that. One of those was a little program that was presented as a psychiatrist. The person would use several tricks such as changing me to you and changing word order to be more natural sounding, like rephrasing a question back into a question to you. That program was called Eliza. To turn Eliza into more of a game and give the illusion of progression, we used a trick of human psychology and speech. If you were in a conversation with someone and use a word to refer to something such as car, and the other person uses the word vehicle for the same thing, you will tend to start using vehicle instead throughout that entire conversation. We used different keywords that would trigger different responses that use new words that people wouldn't normally use. By doing this, we could lock progressive responses behind specific keywords. They would say car, we would say vehicle, they would now say vehicle, we then say classic, and so on. And that would lead the conversation down a path we chose that could eventually be the correct topic. We created several topics that could trigger a conversation path, and if the player strayed from that path by using the wrong words, they would essentially start over and get a random question. If they chose the right words and the right topic, they could get Eliza to give them their reward. If the player could get past Eliza, they would automatically get a page that looked like they managed to hack the Tech 1 system, and they would get a list of players recently logged in, similar to the way that the bounty system worked. Most noticeable at the top was the Omega Directive. The directive basically says that you will speak nothing of the Easter egg and actively mislead anyone seeking information about it. So you see, the staff was just following the directive. Whichever player was picked, a new page would appear that shows the player's recent and fully detailed death log. Using that information, they could easily figure out where the player has been spending most of their recent time, or maybe use it to find their base. In addition to that information, the player would automatically be given the role of a Liza survivor on the Discord, which would put their name right after staff on the online list. They would also get one more thing. Unbeknownst to anyone but staff, there is a Discord channel that logs all of the conversations that people have had with Eliza in real time. That Discord role would also grant them access to read that channel and laugh like we did as people struggled to get past. So what did you think? Did you ever see the message to pet the unicorn and never actually see the unicorn? Did you see the unicorn and follow it to Eliza never to get past her? Comment with your story and let us know how far you got, or if you never even knew this was a thing. Until next time.